Thank you for joining this lesson. We're going to discuss what we call binomial expansions and expressions. Number 6. Remember to subscribe to this channel and to share link with friends. So when I look at this question, we are told to expand the expression 1 plus 0.5x raised to 5 in ascending powers of x, leaving coefficients as fractions in their simplest form. Fractions in their simplest form. Therefore, what we do here is we should first of all list the binomial coefficients of power 5 according to the Pascal's triangle, and they are 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, 1. 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, 1. So those are the 6 coefficients of power 5. So I'll begin with the first term is 1, which will be raised to power 5. But now we have 0.5x, which is to power 0. Then we go to the next. Remember, the powers of x should be ascending. So we go to the next. Now I'm going to have 1 raised to 4, but 0.5x now to power 1. The next is 1, goes down to power 3, but 0.5x to power 2. The next is going to be 1, now power 2, but 0.5x goes to power 3. 1. Let me bring the lights here. 1 is going to be, it was power 2, now power 1, and 0.5x, which was to power 3, now becomes power 4. And finally, we will have 1 taking power 0, 0.5x taking power 5. So that will be the final term. Now I can carry out multiplications here and raising of numbers to powers. In the first term, when 0.5x is raised to 0, it becomes 1. When 1 power 5 is computed, you realize it's also 1. This is 1. So 1 times 1 times 1, we're going to get 1 as the first term. The second term is going to be 1 power 4 remains 1. 0.5x power 1 remains 0.5x power 1. So it's 0.5x times 5. We get 2.5, and this should be 2.5. 2.5 x. The next term is going to be the one beginning with 10. 1 power 3 is 1. 0.5x power 2. When I take 0.5 and I square, I'll get 0.25 x squared. Then I have to multiply this by 10. So I get 2.5, which becomes 2.5. So this becomes 2.5 x, now power 2, plus the next term is also starting with the 10. So 1 power 2 is 1. 0.5x power 3. 0.5 power 3 becomes 0.125 x power 3. But now there is times 10. So this is going to be 1.25 x power 3 plus the second last term. We're going to have 0.5x power 4. So 0.5 power 4, we get 0.0625 x power 4, but now there is times 5. So as a fraction, it will be 5 out of 6. 16, sorry, x power 4. Then finally we add 1 power 0 becomes 1. So this is 1 times 1, which is 1. and 0.5 now has to be raised to power 5, making it 1 out of 32. X is now power 5. So these are the terms when they are having their coefficients as fractions in their simplest forms. And finally, we are to use now the first three terms of the expansion above to estimate the value of 0.105 raised to power 5. So the first thing is to say 1.05 to power 5 equals to 1 plus 0.5x power 5. We must equate that. So that you say, because the powers are equal, now we can equate this basis, and we will have 1.05 equal to 1 plus 0.5x. So to remain with 0.5x, we have to subtract 1 and have 0.05. So we subtract 1 here to remain with 0.5x equals to 0.05. So to remain with x now, we are supposed to divide 0.05 by 0.5. This gives us 0.1. So the value of x is 0.1. Now, after getting the value of x, we are to use now the first three terms. So I'll use the first, the second, and the third terms. And where we have x, I will put 0.1. So that I will have 1 plus 2.5, 0.1 plus 2.5, 0.1 squared. Then I see the value I'm going to obtain. So I will need 1 plus 2.5, 0.1 plus 2.5, 0.1 squared. This is going to give us 1.275. This is the answer to 4 significant figures. So thank you for following. Subscribe and share.